place brings back memories.
I've been thinking about my sister, Clairene. Why would Lord Silvelles tell me she was dead all those years ago? Why didn't I end up with her after my mother's death? I think it's time to get some answers. I'm missing some part of the story. Now that I know Clairene is alive, I want to meet her. I don't hold any high expectations, but I need some answers. I want to begin by calling on her husband, Count Auzin. He's a well-known noble who often visits Wayrest on the realm's business. Clairene has had decades to reach out to me. Either she doesn't know I'm alive, or she wants nothing to do with me. Either way, my return may be unwelcome. I should approach the matter with care. Would you come to Wayrest with me? If Count Auzin's in Wayrest, we'll probably find him at the Cloudy Dregs Inn. Visiting nobles often stay there. I hope he can tell me something. After what I've learned about my mother's last wishes, I don't know what to think. I don't. I know she's about 18 years older than I am. I was a late-in-life child. According to my mother's servant, Analiath, Clairene went off to marry Count Auzin soon after I was born, just before the fall of House Hallex. That's the question, isn't it? Why did she send me to the Silvelles? Was her own situation too precarious? Did she not want the care of a child? Or perhaps she's dead. It's possible Analiath is mistaken, and Lord Silvelles told me the truth. I've heard his name a time or two, usually when Lord Silvelles and his visitors got to talking about court gossip. The Auzins are a minor house with lands in the countryside of Stormhaven. Count Auzin is said to be respectable, at least. I don't see why he wouldn't. The taint on the Hallex name makes other nobles uneasy, but that was many years ago now. Of course, if he didn't know about my mother's arrangements, he might be very surprised to learn he has a brother-in-law. If Count Auzin's in Wayrest, we'll probably find him at the Cloudy Dregs Inn. Visiting nobles often stay there. I hope he can tell me something. After what I've learned about my mother's last wishes, I don't know what to think.
You there. Do you bring news? Are you here to deliver a demand?
He looks upset. Maybe you should sound him out?
This isn't a very good time, stranger. Be on your way, unless you bring some new tidings about my wife. She's been captured by slavers. Clairene was on her way to visit a friend near Coglin when she was attacked. Luckily, one of her guards managed to trail the slavers to Coglin Mine. I must arrange a rescue at once. State your business swiftly. Bastian Hallex? What, that's him over there, isn't it? Oh, he looks just like his father. I don't know how to say this, but Clairene believes he died as an infant. After her family's scandal, I thought it best to distance her from the Hallex name. I'm afraid so. And I told the Silvelles to let Bastian believe he had no family left. It was the safest course. Are the gods punishing me now for that choice? Oh, is it my fault that Clairene... Wait, you and Hallex seem able. You can save her. After Lord Hallex's treason, some of the king's counselors argued for executing the whole family to make sure no threat to the king remained. The only way to survive was to convince the king's officials that the Hallex family no longer existed. Oh, yes, of course they did. I had to convince them that my new wife was appalled by what her father had done and repudiated the Halleck's name. Not only was Clairene at risk, my own house might have fallen under suspicion of treason, too. I don't care for your insinuation. I love Clairene, and I feared for her life. But yes, I had my own title and family to think of. I was new to my title, and it would have been irresponsible to not consider House Auzin's safety, too. He had no great liking for it. He was a staunch loyalist and took Lord Halleck's plot against the High King as a personal offense. It took a rather exceptional inducement to persuade him to take in young Bastian. I bribed him. Lady Halleck's had set aside a very substantial fortune in the form of jewels from her dowry for Bastian's education and upbringing. I suggested to Lord Silvelles that he might be a wise steward of that fortune. Oh, yes, of course they did.
You let your own wife believe that her brother was dead?
I made the decision many years ago when I was young and new to my title, and newly married to a woman I only wanted to protect.
You left a young child with strangers! They brought me up as a glorified servant!
They were to use the funds you had to see to your education and raise you as a gentleman.
It should have been her decision, not yours. I'm going to find my sister. For her sake, not yours.
I truly never intended any harm to Clairene's brother. I thought I was keeping them both safe. And protecting her reputation, of course. Well, her reputation as the Countess Auzin. There was no other choice, really. After Lord Halleck's treason, some of the king's counselors argued for executing them.
Knights of the Flame came very near dissolution.
Count Auzin told Clairene I was dead? And he conspired with Lord Silvelles to keep me in ignorance, too? What kind of life would I have had if these cowards had just told my sister and I the truth? I suppose I can understand that. If the choice was telling a lie or risking the gallows for my sister, then Auzin made the right decision. It isn't cowardice to fear for someone you love. And it's clear that he fears for Clairene now. I know the place. Bandits and outlaws often lair there. I'll sort out the rest of this later, after we make sure Clairene is safe. I couldn't bear it if I got so close to finding her, only to lose her now. Lord Silvelles told me more than once that I should be grateful that he didn't just drop me off at some orphanage or another. But this whole business of buried secrets and deliberate lies is infuriating, regardless of the reasons for it. It makes sense that the Count wanted to protect my sister. I could almost forgive that. But I suspect he was also interested in protecting his own good name. I can't help but wonder about the life I could have had if he'd chosen differently. No, I was much better off than if I'd been left at an orphanage. But I wasn't family, and I wasn't quite the help. If I hadn't met you, I would have spent the rest of my life looking after the Silvelles' interests without ever really belonging.
Greetings to you.
This looks like the right place. I'm not the praying sort, but I'm praying my sister is unharmed. Slavers are no joke. Victory is cruel. Defeat is worse. Look here! A stranger's loss might be our gain.
Dragons around.
Find anything? Paralyzed. Don't think. Move! The day is ours! I feel like we must be getting close. Hurry.
You won't get away with kidnapping a countess! If you had any brains, you'd flee now! Whoever you are, untie me so I can get away from these villains. I can see to it that you are well rewarded for your help. Did my husband send... Oh, never mind. Let's get out of here! I thank you, stranger. Those slavers intended to demand a ruinous ransom for my return. Whether they meant to honor their word is another question entirely. Let's be on our way before more of them find us.
I have so many questions, and no idea how to begin. Maybe you could speak to Clairene first. I feel like I could use a little more help. A word of introduction, I guess. But let's make sure we're somewhere safe first. I think that might have been excessive. That's over with, I suppose.
Help me! Flank, now!
There's always something new to learn.
There's the door! I can't believe that I'm free! How can I thank my gallant rescuers?
I have so many questions, and no idea.
I am Countess Clairene Auzin. I had hoped that my husband's troops would rescue me from that awful mine, but I don't recognize you. No matter, you have my deepest gratitude, strangers. How did you know where to find me? Did he? Oh, I prayed that one of the guards had managed to get through to him. Elmond must have... That is... I'm sorry, but your companion, who is he? He looks just like someone I knew a long time ago. What? How is this... Bastian? My baby brother? I thought he was dead! By the Eight! Of course he looks familiar! He takes after our father. Oh, excuse me, please. I am quite overcome. Look at him! He was so small when I left our home. Our parents were so excited to have another child so late in their marriage. Where has he been all this time? How did he come to find me now? Bastian? The last time I saw you, you were only a toddler. I did not even know that you were alive.
I only just learned that you were alive. I wish I'd known sooner.
You look so much like our father, but you probably have no memories of him, do you?
Sadly, I do not. Nor you, Clairene. I would like to find out what I've missed.
I as well. Oh, I have so many questions for you. Did you know you have a niece and nephew to meet?
I would like that. And I have many questions for you, too. But first, let me speak to my friend here. Clairene is a stranger to me, of course. But part of me feels like I know her somehow. She said I favored our father. I've always wondered about that. Indeed. I confess, I was a little worried that she might not have much to say to me. After all, she's a countess, and we are strangers. Clairene seems kind, though. I like her already. That feels rather good. Which is something the Silvelles could never do. She has a good heart, I believe. It's strange. I left the Silvelles because I wanted to find my own place in the world. Discovering a family I thought I lost? It roots you properly, so to speak. Not yet. Right now, I still want travel and adventure. Being part of my sister's family is something that will happen with time. Thank you for seeing this through. I think I'd rather face a dozen dragons than the ghosts of the past.
Clairene, are you all right? Clairene, I've been worried sick. Thank the eight that you are all right.
All is well, Elmond. The heroes you sent succeeded, and I have something extraordinary to tell you.
I know, my dear, I know. An old wrong can be set right today. I feared for your life. I know I should have told you about Bastian, but I will earn your forgiveness, and his, I promise you.
I don't even know where to begin. My sister and I haven't seen each other in 25 years. She remembers me as a 2-year-old child, and I don't remember her at all. What if we have nothing in common besides a name? I don't even know where... For the first time since we started down this road, I think I believe that too. But we have so much lost time to make up for. And the thought that I missed the chance to be a part of this family decades ago is almost too much to bear. For all I know, Count Auzin saved my sister's life by lying to her. And it's obvious that he loves her with all his heart. They are happy together. For my sister's sake, I can set aside old sorrows. But I am done with the Silvelles.
A day that started in darkness and fear has brought me a miracle beyond imagining. The loss of my family all those years ago almost broke me. To find out now that I am not the only Hallex left, I hardly know what to think. How is this possible? Sit down with Bastian and talk for days. I want to know everything about how he was raised and what family he found. Where has he been all this time? And I need to speak with my husband. Why did he tell me Bastian died? A mistake? Or not? I guessed as much. I remember the court officials who interrogated me after my father's treason. My life hung by a thread in those awful months. But it was wrong for Elmond to mislead me so. It was my family, and my decision to make. Am I upset? Yes, of course. But I understand why Elmond chose as he did. He's a good man. I only wish he'd told me sooner that my brother lived. The Silvelles of Daggerfall? Bastian stayed with him after Mother died, but he was to be sent to us just as soon as the King's officers satisfied themselves that I had no part in my father's conspiracy. I hope they were kind to him.
I cannot thank you enough for rescuing Clairene. I know I made a dreadful mistake in the past. I promise to make it up to both Clairene and her brother. Bastian seems like a good man. I will be proud to call him brother too.